Hey, everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke. And I have a really good topic for today's show, in which it is the data centers that are being built up throughout the state of New York. So let's get right into this. Um, Governor Kathy Hochul has been building up, or at least plans to build up, these data centers that throughout the state of New York. And I'm not a big fan of these data centers. And I've been in constant contact with Governor Kathy Hochul about this, and of course, with her office and stuff like that. And um, let me just explain a few things here. I get the reasoning for these data centers. I really do. I get it. Right? And I understand that. Now here's the thing. Number one, with regard to these data centers, I just really hope that they don't use people's private personal information. And I really hope that they prevent hackers from getting that information. That's number one. Number two is um, these data centers, they can get people's information, and to make things smoother throughout the systems for the state governments, for the state government of New York. And I get that, to try to make things run smoother and stuff. Fine, I get it. And it maybe the state of New York can use those data centers and send the information to the federal government, and stuff. Fine, I get the reasoning. I get it. But again, I just hope that they protect people's personal information that nobody else should have, especially from hackers and stuff. So that's number one. Number two, let me just explain something. During the recent heat wave that New York had, Governor Kathy Hochul and New York City Mayor Mamdani wanted people during the major heat wave to put their air conditioners on 78 degrees. So they wanted people to swelter during a major heat wave because of the electrical grids. They didn't want people using up so much electricity and stuff like that, and stuff. So they were asking people to please keep your air conditioners on 78 degrees so you can swelter and whatever. Now, just keep that in mind for just a moment. And getting back to these data centers, these data centers are going to be using up so much electricity that the electrical grids throughout the state of New York cannot handle that much electrical usage. They can't. And that's going to lead to big problems then, to really big problems for people. So now, you have an idea, a good idea, but without making a proper plan for that, and without making a proper plan to execute that, you only have an idea. And you can't rightfully tell your state workers, here's my idea, just make it happen. Can't do that. You have an idea, you got to come up with a proper plan first to be executed in order to properly handle that idea. And in part of making that proper plan, you got to take all this information, like to protect people's personal private information, number one. And then you got to take into consideration the electrical usage of these uh, data centers and the fact that these electrical grids cannot handle that much electrical usage. Okay? Now, with that being said, Governor Hochul and her office must have taken my uh, suggestion, and there is a temporary hold on building up these data centers. Okay? And she's saying, Governor Kathy Hochul is saying that they want to do this correctly and stuff like that. That's great, and I hope she's telling the truth. I hope to goodness she's telling the truth. And um, you know, you got to take everything into consideration and to sit down with your team and create a proper plan first, and to figure out like how they're gonna deal with this electrical usage uh, for these data centers and stuff, because otherwise it's going to be a majorly big problem. And then come, let's say, the winter, okay, what's Governor Hochul and Mayor Mamdani going to tell people to do? Keep their heat on 10 degrees and freeze to death? Seriously? Come on. Come on. Honestly, you got to have a proper plan in place first before you build up these things. And then, and not only that, not only is the electrical usage going to be a problem, but that means it's also going to make people's electricity bills go skyrocketing too. So they have to take that into consideration as well, and they got to come up with a plan to help deal with that. Now, like I said, there's a temporary hold on building up these data centers. My guess is, and this is only my guess, that she's probably waiting until after the November elections to execute these ideas and to build up these data centers. Why is she doing that? Simply because of the fact that she's up for re-election this coming November. Governor Kathy Hochul, I'm talking about. She's up for re-election, and her Republican opponent, because Governor Kathy Hochul is a Democrat, and her Republican opponent, who's really catching up to her, okay, he's pretty powerful, and he's going to give her a run for her money. He is. And once they have their gubernatorial debate, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, she's going to look good. She's going to look good in some ways, and then she's going to look bad in some ways. And the same thing for her Republican opponent. He's going to look good in some ways, and he's going to look bad in some other ways. So I think, this is just my gut feeling, I think that Governor Kathy Hochul is going to just barely squeak by and win her re-election. That's just my hunch. That's just my gut feeling. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, and this is politics, and anything can happen in politics. That's how politics is. So, but that's just my gut feeling. And if she does win her re-election, then of course she's going to have every intention on building up these data centers. And I just hope that she does the right thing, because she says right now on social media that she wants to do this the right way and stuff like that. And I hope she's telling the truth. But then again, she's a politician. You know, anyways, I just hope she's telling the truth. And with that being said, I hope that uh, she comes up with a proper plan first with her team and stuff, and first figures out how she's going to deal with the electrical usage for these data centers, how to deal with the electrical companies because it's going to use up a lot of people's electricity and skyrocket their electricity bills. Okay. And again, also protecting people's personal information, especially from hackers. So, because her Republican opponent is going to get her on this and on many other things too. So, um, that's why I said I'm not a big fan of these data centers, but I get the reasoning for them and I understand the reasoning. So, I just hope that she does this the correct way. And with that being said, I just want to remind all my fans out there about a few things. For the two shows that I host on Spreaker.com, one show is called Super Advocate, which I just hosted that show right before I hosted this show, and my other show is titled Disabled Reality. That I hope those two shows, Super Advocate and Disabled Reality, I host on Spreaker.com. For those two shows, I have a specific website that you guys can go to and listen to all the episodes of both of my shows that I host on Spreaker.com. And the title of that website is called Super Advocate. And the link to that website is superadvocate.codeadx.me. I'll repeat that one more time. That's superadvocate.codeadx.me. And you guys could check out the website, and like I said, you guys can listen to all the episodes of both of my shows that I host on Spreaker.com. But also on this website, you'll see a tab on there called promo codes. And if you guys click on that tab, you'll see 8 promotions on there. And out of those 8 promotions, all of us at Super Advocate, we support 4 of those promotions. And those 4 promotions are Connie's Fashion Vault, Chill Boys, Hypernatural, and Old Glory. Those are 4 great companies. They got great websites. They got great products and at great prices. I highly recommend you guys go check them out. And you guys can shop to your heart's content. And I also want to remind all my fans out there about my other website that I have called Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that's AIHNY.com. You guys can check out all the pages on there. But I just want to mention just a few of the pages that's on there. One page is titled Blog. And if you guys click on that title, and it'll bring you right to my blog page, and you can read all the blog posts that I have on there. Another page is titled Shows. If you guys click on that title and go to the shows page of my website of Advocate Information Highway, on that page, you guys can also listen to all the episodes of both of my shows that I host on Spreaker.com that I mentioned. But also on this page, you guys can also listen to and watch this show, Advocate Information Highway, that I host here on YouTube as well. And also on the shows page on my website of Advocate Information Highway, you'll see 2 links on there. One of the links is in regards to my show, Super Advocate. And the other link is in regards to my other show, Disabled Reality. And those links will bring you right to the support page of each one of those shows, those 2 shows. And I would really appreciate it if you guys become supporters of both of my shows that I host on Spreaker.com that I mentioned. And I would really appreciate it if you guys did that. And But getting back to the my website of Advocate Information Highway, another page is titled Internet Store on Zazzle. And if you guys click on that title and go to that page, you'll see a link on there. And if you guys click on that link, it'll bring you right to my internet store on Zazzle.com, in which you guys can see all the products that I designed and that are up for sale on my internet store on Zazzle.com. So you guys can check that out and shop to your heart's content. Another page on my website of Advocate Information Highway is titled Bookstore on Amazon. If you guys click on that title and go to that page, you'll see 3 links on there. Those 3 links are to the 3 books that I wrote and that are up for sale on Amazon.com. And so you guys could check that out as well. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.